your influence, but let's remember why we're doing it. Why we're doing it. We're doing it so we can have more money in less time with more magic. For those that are new, for those that have been here for a while, for those that have created their own frame of meaning that's different from the frame. The frame is this. Whatever amount of money you want to make, it's your call. Whatever amount of time frame you want to have, it's your call. Whatever amount of magic and what magic means to you, it's your call. The frame is, it's your call, nobody else's. It's not mine. It's not Unblinded. It's not your friends, family, parents, kids, or nobody. It's yours. And the progression, the suggestion is that you make very intentional decisions. We talked about the setting of outcomes last night with specificity. Tremendous night. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Adriana. Thank you, Nancy. Incredible job, Adam, Fernando, Bella, entire team. It's choosing your outcomes with intentionality. It's choosing your outcomes with precise language. It's not more money. It's a specific amount. It's not more magic. It's like what it looks like. It's not, hey, I want to go on a trip to Grand Cayman. It's like, I want to go on a trip to Grand Cayman by August or in August. I want to stay at the Ritz-Carlton. I want to be able to have an oceanfront suite or just a room. I want to be able to go scuba diving 4 times, whatever it is, specificity. The richer that we define, and more specifically, the outcome, the more likely it is for achievement. And it's our frame of money and time. And the magic part, I also want this frame clear. I am, Adam is, Fernando is, we are working like lunatics. This is not what it looks like to have an intentional life of magic unless it is. So for many of you know, I reach points in Caligula law where essentially I haven't had to pay very much specific day-to-day, minute-to-minute attention. That's called becoming a business owner, not operator. That space gives you the ability to choose to do exactly what I've chosen to do here. This is magic for me. The impact, mission, giving, doing. This is not the easiest and best way to make money. Although the value created here over time, I am very confident will be extraordinary. And already the equity value, the ecosystem value has been utterly extraordinary. But this is not about money, not about time. But at one point in my life, my work was about money and time, still adding more value, massive value, and you've heard those stories, but it's intentionality about it. So for you, be present to how can you create what you want to create, and the money, the time, the magic, which is most important now. And I will suggest to you that if you don't have the money, right? If you don't have the money you want, where it's like, yeah, it's flowing. It feels amazing. It's what I need foundationally, what I want. It's the decision with intentionality. Then that's the focus. But when your focus becomes money, this is where people step into the wrong frame. And this is all a segue in today's influence discussion, the wrong frame. The wrong frame, because I stepped into this frame at one point, it was like money or happiness, money or being a good person, right? Money or like time. And it was all fiction. Now in the short run, it was that. It was like a year of insanity, a year of intensity, a year of like really a lot of fear. And I didn't have anybody coaching me who knew what they were doing. I was working with books and CDs and things. And you want to talk about uncertainty? I lived in a space of uncertainty every day to the point it was like physically painful times. It was so scary every day. And it was worth it. 7 levers. When you get the ecosystems, when you have the ecosystem in place that provides the sales, the speaking engagements, the sales meeting, the sales, and disposable income, it's like exhale. And then you can make choices. Do I scale and build more? Do I relax? Do I take 2 months off? Do I really decide to consider like what things about the world I want to know and study and learn? Take up a new hobby. That's the magic part. Now, you don't have to have the money. There's many people like Gandhi, Mother Teresa. These were not, people who made a ton of income. Although Mother Teresa, contrary to popular belief, had like a team of people working with her and around her. So it's probably not a great example. But some people might be, working in soup kitchens or be a street preacher, be a teacher in another country, work for the Red Cross. Like those are all beautiful and incredible things. So you don't have to have money to have magic. but realize you get to make the decisions intentionally. That's the key. And I suggest that you're all incredibly capable of getting to them. And many of you are already, but for those that are not, try it on for size. Have that money, have that income, and then you could choose. Brittany Turner was on. She was ready to be a missionary, beautiful. Now she's a missionary of a different type, having much more massive impact, having built her real estate empire and owning an island at the ripe old age of 32. So intentionality, messaging. Now, frame, doubling your influence. Let's bring up Gina. Let's bring up Hala Jaludi. Let's have Adam Fernando ready to rock and roll. Bella, of course, feel free to chime in, jump in at any moment. So let's bring these up. Do we have Gina and Hala here and present? Fernando?
Yes.
Yeah. Gina, are you ready to carpe diem, to seize the day?
Yes, I'm ready.
Right. And whose day are you ready to seize? Like, who decides what seizing the day means to Gina?
Me.
Yes. Hala, who decides what seizing the day means to you?
Hala decides.
Absolutely. Now, you make intentional decisions. You decide first, hey, what do I want? And then we make agreements with other people that we honor and accelerate. Because the only way we get more of what we want is by having relationships, and relationships are created through shared experiences. We've discussed that. And that's what we're here to do. So Gina and Adam are gonna support in this, like, double our influence off the bat and rock and roll with something that just occurred. And it has to do with intro, write these words down: intro, outro, and frame. Intro, outro, frame, right? So we're gonna go here. This is the frame, right? I for intro, O for outro, F for frame. Intro, outro, frame. And then we're gonna talk about C, congruent you. Congruent uniqueness, so people become curious. That is the frame of doubling your income today, and Brian Ripple leaned into it beautifully last night. So it's intro, outro, right? Intro, outro, congruent uniqueness, so people become curious. And here we go. Okay. So Hala Jaludi, let's lean in on something. You are extraordinary. You are extraordinary. And one of the things that Hala leaned in on, stepping into and confronting, is that our relationship has been potentially functioning in a suboptimal frame. And that suboptimal frame is Hala is as caring, as urgent, as aggressive, has committed to be in the formula. Not in the formula. Strike that. Don't ever say those words again. Not in the formula. It has committed to be and has been present to the formula and its impacts on her life and all lives. When we ran practice mastery events, Hala was at every single one of them. Back in the day of doctors and teaching the formula and clients coming in, all of those. And has been all over the Unblinded world, running Real Raw, is doing an extraordinary job. And the frame in which our relationship has been operating is she's also, for my money, and she could correct the frame. This is my I see you, I hear you, what you say matters to me of Hala. My perspective of Hala is that in personal injury in this country, there is no better attorney handling the value of a personal injury case short of the mega catastrophic, and she may be. I don't know that, right? I don't know that. I do know that in all other personal injury cases, the more normal, average cases, there's nobody who gets more value than Hala Jaludi, not even close, that I've ever seen. And I know a lot of people who spend a lot of time working in the space of personal injury. And that's not the work that I've done in my legal career, but I do know that space and people in that space, and there's nobody like Hala, right? Now, there's an issue though. The issue is this is about frame. So if our entire conversation And this is for you to think about stepping into people's frames and reframing, right? Creating frames, not stepping into somebody else's frame and deframing. This is the influence topic to double your influence today, right? So the frame is, okay, Hala equals my partner running the personal injury division of Calugi Law. Okay. But there's a question, like, is that the right frame? With Hala's skill sets, abilities, et cetera, and her heart's desire and my heart's desire, is that the singular container within which we should be operating? And Hala also had an interesting question for me recently. So Hala, first of all, how have I done relaying who you are? Anything you'd like to add? And then let's lean into the frame that you were creating and the actual frame. And then let's pick up there.
Well, yes, thank you, Sean. And I just want to say that my being able to be part of this since Practice Mastery has been a gift to me. And I am very grateful to you for learning this formula. And it's a gift that I don't take for granted. And yes, thank you. This is a beautiful way in the morning to to wake up to. Yes, you have described, and I will add that catastrophic injuries probably will be easier to get a successful resolution on. But thank you. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm not confused. It's just I don't have that same experience with you in that space. But right. So please. So what was the question you asked me? Please.
What was the question? I said, you know, Sean, I've been in Practice Mastery since day one. I've, you know, in the calls, doing real raws, being present at immersion, everything in between. And, you know, I was curious as to why, you know, in the space of edifying what we're doing and what you're doing and, you know, where sort of do I fit in? And the micro distinction was, and it was the concern of, hey, am I not mastering something? Is there something underlying? Is there something going on that I'm missing? And that was my what was weighing on my heart, is the why.
Yeah. And so if Hala doesn't say that, I don't know what's weighing on her heart. So she shares it. And I'm like, well, I think the friction is that my particular passion and focus right now is not particularly on all the micro distinctions around personal injury. My particular focus right now is on building and expanding. And I'm like, you know what, Hala, you are a woman. You are a woman of descent that would be in a protected class in our world of diversity, right? And you kick ass in the space of going from hello to yes, dealing with money in the professional world. And it's like, we're playing way too small a game. Like, that's kind of crazy. And I'm like, Hala, we just got to not figure out. The model is, let's transition into a new model. And so, number one, Hala had a picture of her frame, like, wow, maybe I'm, you know, doing something suboptimally. And it wasn't that. The little friction was, of course. And Hala, it's amazing. So let's just go and make a decision, recreate a new frame, and create a new relational dynamic. Because what is the cry of your heart, Hala? Like, what do you want to do for people? And what do you see as a possible out there that you've created and other people can create in their life in this professional practice world, entrepreneurial world? What is it that's on your heart to do for people?
Well, on my heart to do for people is to serve people and to be able to convey this, that you can, it's, you know, within your reach to, because what I want, and I would assume what most people want, is more money in order to have more time and have more magic and to be able to use that disposable income to serve whatever cause, whatever, and bring, you know, goodness in the world. And to be able to convey that to people, to be able, or in whether it's in their practice of personal injury or any area of their life, that is achievable.
Yeah.
And
Sorry. And Hala, I'll do this. Hala is so much better at all these personal injury firms at running cases and doing things. It makes complete sense that Hala will be training, coaching, leading other personal injury attorneys in these ways. And then we would have the ability, because of hierarchical primacy, superior leadership and skill set, to open up other personal injury offices while we're going through a process of recruiting and meeting people, just like Brian Ripple talked about last night with financial people, just like Rob Gill is doing with Epic, just like Michael Smikin wants to do to build litigation and fit to exit. Hala, same conversation, just like all of you guys and what you're thinking about. So that's the space that we're operating in. And it literally just took a brief conversation, and what Hala just took a brief conversation, period. Seizing of the day, leaning in, confronting. Now, let's talk about frames in a little bit more micro detail, okay? And we're gonna go hard on this, write this down. If you're listening passively, right? If you're listening passively, you're missing it. Write it down and apply it to what you're doing. Write it down. So now, Hala, when you're negotiating, and we talked about just the other day on the group call, Hala obtained in a case that was worth about $15,000 to $25,000. Hala, because the insurance company said, and this is before she was, we were together, Cal you off. Hala said, no, you're not. And they were offering zero. Most attorneys would have quit the case and given up. Most attorneys would have taken $5,000, which she probably could have eked out maybe. And she's like, no, I'm not doing it. We're going to trial. She spent 10 days trying a case that most likely she wasn't going to get paid anything on. There was like $180 in damage to a bumper, but there was still value. The person had an injury, a bulging disc in their back. Hala, right, refuses to step into the frame, not only of the adversary, but of the judge. Hala, and we're going like speed round, like quick. What did the judge say to you? Right before trial, what did the judge say to you?
Called me in chambers and said, Hala, I don't think you should do this. You're going to spend a lot of money in cost trying this case. I don't think you should try this case.
And said one more sentence. He said, you're going to lose.
You're going to lose.
Was it he or she?
Yes. He said, you're going to lose. Yeah.
So he said, you're going to lose. Hala refused to step into the frame because her frame was, I may lose, but I'm not walking away from this client. It's not something I should be doing. It's not the frame I'm going to step into. And so you try the case, and bottom line, Hala gets $300,000 for the client, ends up with a picture in the New Jersey Law Journal, article about the entire thing, extraordinary, all because she wouldn't step into the frame. Hala, when an insurance company calls up, now we're talking about money and frames. So all about frames. It's all about frames, about being congruently unique to shift people into your frame and not step into theirs in integrity. So Hala, and let's define a frame, first of all, right? A frame is a context. A frame is a reality, a story. So like hold space, like this is revolutionary for some of you, something you're present to for others, but haven't mastered fully. And for some of you, perhaps like Jack Tavares, completely leaning in and like, yeah, frame. So frame equals context, frame equals meaning, frame equals reality. Like my frame is that Unblinded is built and constructed to do something and be something that has never existed in the world before. What Amazon is to getting packages to your home, Unblinded is initially to your business and then to everything. It's how you create the most optimal outcomes, understanding it scientifically and never endingly be committed to money, time, and magic, rising and different processes and things with incredible like-minded people. Somebody else's frame, oh, I get it. Like this is like how to pitch, hook, and close. That is somebody's frame, I am sure. It ain't my frame. And I will never step into that frame for a nanosecond. So let's get into the micro of it. So somebody calls up and is like, Hala, yeah, okay, you have this injury. This is the situation. This case is worth $15,000. And Hala's frame is the case is worth $100,000. So that's an example of frame. Story, meaning, reality. story, meaning, reality. It's like, wait, you're a salesperson? Wait, you're going to pitch me? Wait, you're a lawyer? Wait, you're a coach? Wait, you're an accountant? I will not step into the frame. I'm empowering you that you do not step into the frame. You do not accept the meaning. You do not accept the reality. You do not step into the frame. And I'm saying it emphatically, but that doesn't have to be what it feels like. So Hala, let's just do this for 60 seconds, fast fire, right? I'm in there, right? I'm in there. I'm the insurance carrier person. I'm going to lean in with Gina on a massive ecosystem merger conversation with a national professional organization. And then we're going to talk about intro, outro, congruent uniqueness, and we're going to be done.
Okay.
So Hala, frame quickly. Hey, Hala, hey, I see what you got here. I see ... And, I'm thinking, this case is worth, on a good day, and I'm going to be nice to you, Hala, because I like you, I respect you. It's a $15,000 case.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you calling and taking the time. This case.
Pause. Did you hear Hala's certainty right off the bat? Congruence is anchored in certainty. Write it down. Congruence is anchored in certainty. Zeus energy is certainty. Hala is certain. No certainty equals no outcome. Write it down. No certainty equals no outcome. Hala is not being disrespectful, but she is meeting my certainty plus. She's meeting my certainty, matching it plus. Hala, please continue.
Sean, this is not what the case value is. This is, in my opinion, a policy case, and I appreciate your call. However, I don't think it's going to be worth your time or my time to discuss it now. Think about it. If you have a different offer, please give me a call. Otherwise, I'll see you in court. Have a great day.
Boom. Congruent scarcity, not stepping in a frame and creating a reframe. Here's the reframe. Pay me or going to court. Footnote, that is not what all lawyers sound like and say. So there's like a potential misframe of that. Most lawyers do not sound like that. Do not say that. That is not what it looks like. Most lawyers get nervous, they cave, they're stressed, they're exhausted. Personal injury cases take years to get paid on. You're carrying all your bills, your accounts receivable. It's crazy. It is not what it looks like. Most personal injury lawyers are broke, or most, not all, and are struggling. It takes a long time to get paid. So how is congruent starts? Listen, it's a policy case. Peace out. See you later. And they know she means it. So she's created a new frame. The frame isn't, this is a $15,000 case. The frame is also not, hey, it's a $100,000 case. No, the frame is, listen, this is a policy case, $100,000 case, or we'll go to court. Thank you. I appreciate you. I respect you. But no. The yes is see you in court or pay me. That's the frame. Integrity, scarcity, and congruence, but it's got to be built into a frame because, going back to last night, she knows her outcome. Pause. Gina, Adam, actually, you tell the story and then we'll pick up with Gina. So you get a phone call from Gina and Gina says what to you? Let's go fire around. Like, guys, we're like accelerating training in these short windows. We don't need the story. Like sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Here we don't. Just step in, lean in. Gina calls up and says, hey, Adam, please do this. And what did Gina say she needed?
Adam, please talk to the executive assistant of the American Bar Association. He is asking questions about the real raw, and he was thinking that it's an interview, and now I need your help. I'm going to connect you.
So what frame? By the way, congratulations to Gina taking massive action, just pausing that phone call to be made in the first place. Outstanding. Gina's committed to deep practice, has been crushing it, been ego subjugating. Couldn't be more proud. So Adam, what frame was Gina putting the conversation into? What was the frame?
The frame was that I was going to come in and give a presentation on something that we're doing.
Yes. And what frame was that? So that person was expecting that frame.
Correct.
Right?
He was expecting me to come on and explain what the real raw was.
Right. And so how did you reframe it? What did you do?
I first, right off the bat, understood what he does for the American
So the first thing you did,
asked a question.
you asked a question. So
Yeah.
write it down. To reframe, you ask a question. To reframe, you ask a question. It's like, okay, so hey, Adam, yeah, hey, my name is John. So yeah, tell me about this Real Raw thing. That's stepping, this is not an interview. I book interviews for the head of the ABA. So this person's frame is that they book interviews for the head of the ABA. That's their frame. Adam, did you accept that frame?
No.
So you ask questions, but what kind of questions did you ask? Hint, hint, we covered it last night. The ask was, hey, what's your outcome? Adam did it in a number of different ways, but the ask was, what's your outcome?
What's your outcome for her? What's your outcome for her? When you're choosing, a place for her to speak, what's your outcome?
Yeah.
And he didn't know.
And drum roll, please. Wait, let's hit the drum roll, Adam Gugino. Drum roll. What was the outcome that the person who books interviews for the head of the National Bar Association as to what he's doing and why he's booking interviews? His answer was?
He didn't know.
Write that down. He didn't effing know. Pause. He didn't effing know. Frames are false. Frames are false. He didn't know his outcome. So in Adam reframing, he's helping the American Bar Association. He's helping this person. Because if you don't know your outcome, you can't create any outcome. The outcome is not book interviews. Adam, you're going to say.
Yeah, and then I actually gave him some support, and I said, well, is she looking to grow her practice, her business, her money, her time? And he said, well, she doesn't, the American Bar Association are not looking to do anything there, and she's not really looking to make any more money. So he didn't even know as much, from there, what she wanted. Now I could assume it was magic. Go ahead.
It's 9:08. We're going to go hard pause here. We will continue tomorrow on the huddle with this conversation. Fernando, drop in on what you said to me this morning. Drop in as we're going to wrap this in 90 seconds. Our outro song is going to be Lions in the Wild, right? Our outro song for today will be Lions in the Wild by Martin Garrixson. Fernando.
Yes.
What is the value of this conversation? And if you want other people in the world, you love them or you want to blow their mind, have them here tomorrow. Because if you anchor on this, you change your money, time, and magic in today. Not stepping in the frame, asking questions. What did you say about deep practice and training this morning?
Would you mind giving me a little bit more context as we cover a lot?
About what you want me doing.
Yes. Oh, thank you. And it's funny because I was actually going to acknowledge you at this moment. And I was going to say your ability to adapt is world-class. Your ego subjugation is world-class. And for everyone, so context on why I'm saying that, I literally, in Zeus, loving whatever energy, but mostly Zeus, I said, Sean, you need to train more. What you do, I'm not saying you don't train enough. We need you to do this. We need you to train because I speak through the prism of when I was deciding to commit to deep practice and mastery. This is what drew me here. When I was not where I am today, this is what drew me here. It was the training. And we can listen to videos. We can listen to work hard, be nice, blah, 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 sounds the same, boring. Or we can not step into those boring frames and we can step into deep practice and reality. This is what a talent hotbed looks like. Hala, Gina on the courts, and we get to experience it live. This is not entertainment. This is lifting at the gym. We are flexing our influence mastery muscles. This, folks, is what it looks like. Back to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah.
And thank you, Fernando.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And with all this for today, be present to whose frame you're in every conversation. Say, hey, what is the frame of this conversation? And you'll begin to recognize it. I will not step in. Bella, we've been places, room stuff. Are you with this context, just give please 30 seconds on your assessment of how much I will or will not ever step into somebody else's frame.
You never step into anyone else's frame ever under any circumstances. No way, no how. And I did never really had like a framework because I was just texting with Adam yesterday and realized that I stepped into someone else's frame the other day and didn't have a framework for actually how I did it. And it doesn't happen very often, but with this now context, it gives me a frame for not stepping into frames.
Yeah. Thank you, Bella. So as we close, 1, know your outcome. Herb Brooks knew his outcome. Brian Ripple knew his outcome. He would not step into the frame of the people he was talking to. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. He would not step into the frame. Herb Brooks would not step into the frame. And it's not ego. It's not ego. It's certainty that you know the outcome. When I was in the ocean with a woman years ago, like this is like 6, 7 years ago, right? I was out there. I met her on the boat that day, and the dive master took us in the wrong direction. And he said, hey, listen, we're going to swim back to the boat. I said, nobody, that was his frame. We need to go back underwater. Went the wrong way. The boat was about a half a mile away. I'm like, dude, these people are not making it. This woman is not making it. So I'm reframing. They were in a life or death situation because this woman was sucking down her oxygen. She was panicking, flailing. And yes, she could drown even with a life jacket on, her BC, because she was freaking out. I said, I'm staying here. You're getting the boat and you're going to come rescue me. And with that woman who's flipping out, I said, you're laying on your back. You're laying on your back. I will hold on to you. Squeeze my arm if you have to for certainty. Do not move. Suck all the oxygen you want out of the tank. Just lay on your back. Close your eyes. Breathe. That is Zeus energy reframing of certainty. I'm not stepping into her frame, which is, I need to like, hold on. No, on your back. Because then she was going to like potentially hurt me or hurt other people as she's freaking out. This is what it is. It's leadership has outcome certainty and creates frame. Leadership has outcome certainty and creates frame. The frame is not randomly network. The frame is not, oh, a new person. Hey, Sean, would you jump on Clubhouse with me? No. The frame is come on a Real Raw, decide whether or not you are committed to like learning, growth, development, accelerating your money, time, and magic, being in this program, and then we could talk about it for there. That's my frame. Unless like Tony Robbins calls me up and says, hey, let's go on Clubhouse. That's my frame, right? So that's my frame. My frame is I am not randomly showing up networking anywhere. I'm showing up if I speak. I made that decision 22 years ago. I'm not showing up and not speaking unless I'm there to learn. A frame. So I'm committed to my outcome. I'm committed to learning or accelerating. I am clear. I am not mixing charitable contribution and business acceleration, right? I'm not unconsciously, maybe you could do both at times, but I'm clear and intentional on what it is. So that's it for today. Love you guys a ton. I was not clear on the outcome of what to do with Clubhouse. Let's jump over there and Chaz team, let's open a room, bring me up as moderator for 10, 15 more minutes. And then whoever wants to run it can run it on what we texted out today, doubling your influence, stepping into frames. Let's run that. People can go there and be in frame, out of frame, become present to it. If you're not going there today, in every situation, be certain of your outcome, know your frame. Certain of your outcome, know your frame. Be certain of your outcome, know your frame all day long and say, wait, I'm not stepping into that frame. I'm not just a coach. This isn't just a pitch. It's the knowingness, not stepping into that frame. Tomorrow we'll talk about more how questions, intro, outro, scotoma creation, intro, outro, scotoma creation, the HSE, the holy shit effect, all the same thing, help open listening, recreate frame to take this to the next step. Love you guys. Have a great day. Great job.